He did not choose the rain. The rain chose him. And standing alone in the middle of a jungle that had no interest in his comfort, with water falling through the canopy and heavy curtains and the ground beneath his feet turning soft and dark, he made a decision. Not to wait for better conditions, not to wish for a different situation, but to build. Right here, right now, in the middle of all of it. That decision is where this story begins. The jungle in heavy rain is a different world entirely. The light disappears first, swallowed by cloud and canopy, until everything exists in a dim, gray-green half-darkness. Then the sound arrives. Not the gentle sound of rain on a rooftop. Something heavier, a deep, continuous roar moving through the trees above, the canopy catching it and releasing it in waves, the jungle floor receiving it and sending it sideways through roots and undergrowth. He moves through all of it carefully, reading the ground, reading the space between the trees, looking for what every person looks for when the weather turns and shelter does not yet exist. A place that is willing to become one. He finds it. Not perfect. Never perfect in a jungle, but workable. Elevated slightly above the surrounding ground. Trees on two sides that will anchor whatever he builds. Space enough for what he needs. He puts down what he is carrying, looks at the space, looks at the rain, and begins. The first work happens in the worst conditions. That is simply how it is. The ground is wet, and the tools are wet, and the materials are wet, and none of that changes what needs to be done. He works with bamboo, the jungle's most generous material, strong and light, and endlessly useful to someone who knows how to read it. He selects each piece carefully, not grabbing the nearest thing, but choosing. Because the quality of what you choose at the beginning lies in the structure forever. The rain does not stop. It has no intention of stopping. And after a while, a strange thing happens. He stops waiting for it to stop. The rain becomes simply the condition of the world, and he moves inside it with the same focus he would bring to any other kind of day. This is an important shift. The moment a person stops fighting the weather in their mind and simply works within it, the energy spent on frustration becomes available for the task instead. The bamboo pieces come together slowly. The frame begins, low at first, horizontal logic establishing itself before anything rises vertically. He tests each connection before trusting it. In a shelter that must hold against rain and wind, there is no such thing as a joint that is almost secure. Either it holds or it does not. He makes sure it holds. The jungle watches. The rain continues. And piece by piece, something that did not exist this morning begins to exist. Progress in difficult conditions carries more weight than progress in easy ones. Each small advance, each piece added, each connection secured, each section of the frame that stands on its own means more because of what it cost. The cold, the wet, the effort of working with slippery materials and poor light with rain running down your face. He keeps his head down and keeps working, not frantically, deliberately, with the specific patience that is not the same as slowness. It is the refusal to let difficulty change the quality of the work. He could rush. The rain is an argument for rushing. But rushing in a survival build is how you create problems that cost 3 times the time to fix later. He does not rush. The frame grows. The structure gains height. And then, almost without announcement, the rain begins to ease. Not stop, not yet, but thin. The roar in the canopy softens to a murmur. The light changes, brightening slightly, the gray lifting just enough to reveal color again. The green of the leaves, the pale gold of the bamboo, the dark earth below. He looks up. For the first time since he arrived, he can see the sky. When the sun finds its way through the canopy, the jungle transforms completely. Light falls in long angled shafts, catching the moisture still hanging in the air and turning it briefly luminous. Every surface glistens. The green deepens, more saturated, more alive than it was an hour ago. The sound of the jungle reassembles itself from the bottom up. First small birds, then insects, then the whole layered ambience of a tropical forest returning to its ordinary self after the interruption of the storm. He stands in this changed light and looks at what the frame has become. Still a skeleton, still a promise more than a reality. But it is standing, It survived the rain that tried to arrive before it was finished. And a structure that has already survived something is worth more than one that has only ever existed in good conditions. He can see that understanding in the way he looks at it, not assessing what is missing, but recognizing what has already proven itself. He lets himself have one quiet moment with it. Then he gets back to work. The roofing changes the character of the space entirely. The moment a roof exists, even an incomplete one, the area beneath it becomes different. There is suddenly an inside and an outside, which did not exist before. That distinction is one of the most important things a shelter can create. Inside means protected. Inside means the weather is something that happens out there rather than directly to you. He works the roofing material carefully across the frame, laid at the right angle, overlapping in the right direction, secured against what the next rain will bring. He thinks about the storm that already came and the storm that will certainly come again, and he builds with both in mind. Nothing here is guesswork. Below the roof, the walls begin to take shape. Bamboo laid and lashed in arrangements that break the wind and define the space. The shelter is breathing itself into existence now, not being forced into a shape, but found, the way good structures are always found rather than imposed. He follows the logic of the materials and the logic of the space and the logic of what the jungle will ask of this structure over the days and nights ahead. There are moments in any build where the accumulated work of many hours becomes apparent all at once, where you step back and what you see is no longer a collection of materials but a place, a real place, with dimension and purpose and the quiet authority of something made with genuine care. This is one of those moments. The floor comes next, and with it, the shelter becomes livable in a way it was not before. He works clay into the surface, pressing and smoothing and leveling, adding small stones where the ground needs more support, building up something clean and firm above the cold, damp earth beneath. This is patient work, the kind nobody notices when it is done right, and everybody notices when it is done wrong. He does it right. The chimney is built with the same attention, a channel for smoke shaped from clay and stone, rising from the interior upward and outward. He tests the draw before he trusts it. A chimney that does not draw properly fills a shelter with smoke, and a shelter full of smoke is not a shelter. It is a problem. He corrects and tests and corrects again until he is satisfied. Then he lights the first fire. There is nothing quite like the first fire in a shelter you have built yourself. The flame takes hold, and the warmth begins, and the light inside changes. Warmer, more amber, more alive. The smoke finds the chimney and rises. The interior of the shelter, which was just a structure a few minutes ago, becomes something with a heartbeat, something inhabited. He sits beside it and lets the warmth reach him. The jungle outside is darkening toward evening. The trees hold their last light in the canopy. The sound of the day is softening into the sound of night. That transition that happens every evening in a jungle with an almost musical quality. One set of voices fading as another rises. He has come a long way from the man who arrived in the rain this morning. The first night inside the shelter is its own kind of reward. Not comfortable the way comfort is usually understood. Not soft, not effortless, but earned. Deeply earned in the way only things requiring real effort can be. He worked through rain and difficulty and physical exhaustion to create this space. Now he rests inside it, and the rest means something because of all of that. The fire burns low and steady. The jungle outside is fully alive in the dark, its night version of itself, full of sounds that have no daytime equivalent. He listens from inside the shelter, not with fear, with the calm of someone who is warm and sheltered and fed, listening to a world that can no longer directly reach them. Sleep, when it comes well. Morning arrives through sound before it arrives through light. The birds come first, sudden and layered and entirely sure of themselves, filling the canopy with a complexity that the night insects cannot match. Then the light follows, slow and green and beautiful, filtering down in the particular way of a jungle morning. Soft, moving, alive with the moisture still held in the air. He wakes to this, lies still for a moment and listens. Then rises and steps outside into a morning that smells of wet earth and new growth and the faint sweetness of the jungle after rain. The shelter stands exactly as he left it, solid, his. He looks at it in the morning light with fresh eyes and sees not what is missing but what is possible next. He is not recovering from yesterday. He is planning forward, already seeing the next phase of what this place can become. The expansion begins. He works outward from the shelter now, extending the structure, adding a covered area in front that will give him space to sit and work from a position of shelter rather than exposure. His hands know the material now. His body has found its rhythm. The techniques confirmed by days of use move through him without thought. And then the rain returns, not gradually, suddenly. The canopy erupting with sound, the light disappearing, the temperature dropping several degrees in the space of a minute. He looks up at it without surprise. Rain in a jungle is not an interruption. It is a regular feature of the environment, as predictable as anything here ever is. And he decided long ago that rain will not stop the work. It will simply be one more condition to work within. He continues. The half-finished extension becomes a completed extension in the rain. Each piece added with the same care as if the sun were shining, because the rain is not a reason to do anything less well. When it passes, and it passes, as it always does, what remains is more than what existed before it came. That is the only thing that matters. The bamboo flooring transforms the interior from a space into a room. He lays it carefully, each piece fitted against the next, the surface rising above the clay floor to create something clean and warm underfoot. The sound it makes when walked on is different from the sound of walking on earth. It is the sound of a made thing, a deliberate thing, something that required thought and time and the decision to care about the quality of your own living space, even in the middle of a jungle, even when nobody is watching, even when survival alone would have been enough. He cares about it, and the shelter knows it. The fencing comes next. Bamboo stakes and cross pieces defining the area around the shelter, creating a boundary between the space he has made and the wild space beyond it. A boundary says, "This is mine. This is ordered." Outside the fence, the jungle operates by its own rules. Inside, other rules apply. He builds it post by post, connection by connection, until the space around the shelter has edges. And edges give a place identity in a way that open ground never can. The bed is built with care. Raised from the floor on a bamboo frame, its surface layered for as much comfort as the jungle offers, which is more than most people expect. He tests it, adjusts it, tests it again, because sleep in a survival situation is not a luxury. Sleep is maintenance. Sleep is what makes every subsequent day possible, and a bed that works properly is the difference between real rest and merely horizontal suffering. That night, the rain comes again, harder this time, with wind behind it. The kind of storm that tests everything you have built and charges honest interest on any corners you cut. He closes the window openings and listens to it from inside. The roof holds, the walls hold, the floor stays dry, the fire burns. He does not merely survive the storm. He is comfortable inside it. The final morning arrives quietly. No announcement, just light coming soft and clean through a sky emptied of everything. Pale blue above and the high green of the canopy catching it and holding it and releasing it slowly downward. The jungle after a hard night of rain is luminous. Every leaf carrying its small weight of water and releasing it into cool, fresh air. He steps outside and stands still in it for a moment, just breathing. Just being present in a place he has made from almost nothing over days of rain and work and patience and the continuous decision to keep going. The chairs and table come together in the outdoor sitting area with an ease that reflects earned skill. His hands understand bamboo now. The cuts are cleaner, the joints tighter, the whole process carrying the quiet efficiency of someone who has been taught by doing. He works in the morning light and the jungle around him is calm and the only sounds are good ones. Wind in the high leaves, birds in the canopy, water somewhere finding its level after the night's rain. He finishes the fencing, adds plants inside the fenced area, chosen from the jungle's edge for their color and their life, placed with an attention that has nothing to do with survival and everything to do with the human need to make a space beautiful as well as functional. Flowers against bamboo, green against pale gold. The wild brought inside the boundary and given place. The shelter is finished. Not finished the way things are finished in a world of straight lines and manufactured materials. Finished the way handmade things in wild places are finished, with imperfections that are not flaws but signatures, with adaptations that tell the story of the conditions that shaped them, with a quality of presence that anyone standing in front of it would immediately feel. He built this from what the jungle gave him, in rain and sun and rain again, with simple tools and patient hands and the decision renewed every morning to continue. Evening comes slowly. He cooks beside the shelter, the fire glowing through the entrance. the smell of food mixing with wood smoke and wet earth, and the green fragrance of the jungle settling into night. The sounds around him are familiar now, placed, understood. The jungle that felt alien when he arrived feels different. Not tame, never tame, but known. He eats slowly, in no hurry, with nowhere else to be. The rain begins again somewhere in the distance. He can hear it moving through the canopy toward him, that familiar rush of sound growing closer. But he does not move inside yet. He sits with his fire and his finished shelter behind him and listens to it coming. He is not afraid of it. He has not been afraid of it for some time now. It arrives, soft at first, then heavier. The jungle disappears behind a curtain of falling water, and the firelight makes a small, warm world in the middle of all of it. Just the shelter, just the fire, just the man who built both of them sitting quietly in the rain. He is warm, he is sheltered, he is home.